I could ask a question if I may. Maybe
Cool.
for both of you, right? I think it'd be interesting to hear it from both sides. But 2026, we're one quarter in. For each of you, what is the one most specific, most important thing, most significant deliverable for 2026? What do you think that one thing that you plan on delivering this year? What's most important for COTI's success moving forward into 2027 and beyond?
First of all, it's a very good question because we are doing so many things. It's important to have like a northern light, right? And I think circling back, it's these two things. One is to be understood, perceived, and to actually follow on being an all-in-one privacy solution. So like if someone checks, and ideally if an agent checks, because that kind of like removes all the fluff and kind of like looks at the fact. If someone checks, then we need to be your go-to. If you're not going to COTI to build your privacy application, there is some hidden agenda out there that we need to figure out. Like, why are you building it on something that is inferior in that regards? So that's number one for me, and that means a lot of things, right? We need to definitely make sure that GC outperforms everything out there, that our institutional ZK solution with Nightfall works best, that all of that needs to work. And the other thing is accessibility, right? So whether it's AI, whether it's the nodes, everything out there needs to be easy for everybody. We now live in an era where average Joe can do a lot more things. Or like someone said, I think a year ago, you're not allowed to be mediocre anymore. That you can't, because with the tools out there, not just but like with the tools out there, you're not allowed to be mediocre anymore. So the abilities grow, and it means that everybody can do something special right now. Right? What's normal now is a lot higher than what it was a year ago, 2 years ago, and definitely 5 years ago. So I want to, build a thing that gives people the ability to kind of like prove that, show that, be their gateway drug into building cool things. So these are the two things that I think will matter.
No pressure, Amateo, to follow that, bro. No pressure.
That was fantastic. I don't even want to. That was amazing. Thank you, Shahaf. It was really inspiring too. I think it's delivering on this all-in-one privacy protocol. I think Shahaf said it best. And for me, I'd say just like it's ensuring that the implementation and the marketing is impactful enough to match the technical capacity of what we're actually shipping and the significance of it. That's my work. We have a very clear direction that we're headed, and I think that the momentum is building, and I think everyone can feel it. And I think that we're really well positioned to dominate privacy this year and beyond. And people will get to see it as proof.
Awesome, guys. I feel the momentum, man. Like I really do. I've said it a few times in the past few weeks. Let's keep it going. Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of COTI Confidential on this April 20th, Monday edition. It's like we're kind of settling into Mondays here, eh, Soren? It seems
problem,
kind of
mate.
like a thing.
And a good evening to you, sir.
Yeah. How's it going, man? How was your weekend? How was everything?
Everything's all right, mate. Weekend was nice and quiet. Spring is in the air, so all good.
Yeah.
Springtime in Canada, or you're still snowed in?
It's super volatile. We got a little bit of snow the other day. Now it's gone again. And we're starting to get a little warmer weather, but we have lots and lots of wind today. So it's but we're getting there, and I'm ready, man. I'm ready to get outside and stuff, because it hasn't been pleasant for the last 5 months, 6 months even.
No, I can imagine.
One thing I like here about this going live on Mondays and what we've been doing is not releasing your weekly update until the show airs, which I think is really fun. So, as we always like to start these things, without further ado, let's get to the fresh weekly update.
Yeah, no, I like the concept as well. So this is hot off the press, just published, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago. So last week was obviously another busy week in our little COTIverse universe. Most of what I cover in the updates is about the COTI Connect that you hosted earlier in the week. I always enjoy those great shows and get to cover a lot of ground, and this one was no different. So a couple of things that I sort of caught on to. That the structure of the Ernst Young EY partnership, which has culminated in COTI Nightfall, is becoming quite a bit clearer now. So Nightfall will be on testnet shortly. Garble Circuits integration onto Ethereum mainnet to be completed this year. We don't have a timeline. It's probably a good idea that they don't give a timeline, because then everybody gets a little bit hung up on that. But the Garble Circuits on Ethereum mainnet will be completed this year, along with some additional layer 1s and layer 2s. And this will, in a proper manner, bring to life the privacy on demand vision. And I think just at the right time, actually, because clarity legislation is becoming clearer. Now it looks like most of the hurdles have been overcome, and now it's just a procedural thing to get it on the floor and get it voted on, and hopefully there'll be no more drama with that. Another thing that became a little bit more clear is that Nightfall will be, for lack of a better expression, will be the enterprise-grade compliance layer that opens the doors for us. And Garble Circuits will be there to do the heavy lifting because of the speed and scalability and that it can offer. And there were some questions during COTI Connect about whether the community could build on Nightfall or whether they should be building on Garble Circuits. And it really depends on what you're building. I think if you're building something like a wallet, for instance, as Stefanos is building with CipherTrade, he might be considering Nightfall for his product. If you're building a standard DeFi app, I'm not so sure you will need COTI Nightfall. You can just build on Garble Circuits, which is already super easy to do. We'll cover that as well. The privacy bridge or the privacy portal is close to shipping. You and I actually were both amongst the early testers on this, and it is a very, very smooth experience and a very cheap way to convert tokens such as USDC, USDT, BTC, ETH, COTI, and a few more. I think there's 11 or 12 on the portal for starters. And you can convert them from a public state to a private state or vice versa. So that's really cool. I look forward to that being released into the wild. I think the community is going to like that. Also, work's ongoing, and this is all interconnected into the whole EY partnership thing. So the work in the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance's privacy working group is ongoing. So this is something we're doing with EY and others. And several papers expected to be published shortly. Now, there's nothing sexy about papers being published. That's quite obvious. But it is so important that COTI is a part of this process, because this is where the stage is being set for what privacy is going to look like on Ethereum for many years into the future. So it's absolutely crucial that we have a say in what that's going to look like. So these are the sorts of things that are currently happening in the EY partnership. So I think they demonstrate quite clearly that this partnership's quite deep, which is a good thing. We also had some more light shed on the upcoming new Treasury and Notes ecosystem, something which we're all obviously waiting for, and we have been for a while. Work's progressing rapidly with the user interface largely in place, and I would presume testing ongoing. Community is obviously very excited about this. I know you are in particular, Tracer, because you're a node runner. So everyone's very excited about this, and with good reason. We do need a proper working treasury, and along with the nodes ecosystem, for those loyal community members that sign up to this experience, there'll be multiple new ways to both build and to earn. And when I say build, I mean hopefully we can build some dApps for the treasury, and we can do some clever things with the new treasury. And obviously have lots of node runners, and hopefully you can all earn a little bit of tokens from that. Token burns will become a regular feature, and this is important because as traffic on the network increases, and it will be increasing, the compounding effect of this will be significant. Finally, we also had a bit of alpha, and this one was very interesting. I like this idea. Shahaf dropped a bit of alpha on the AI front. He didn't really say what it was all about, but he hinted it to an extent that we could all interpret it as we like. And the way I interpreted this, what he said was that basically with all these, I call them autonomous AI agent networks. They're not 100% autonomous, but they're autonomous enough with these things popping up all over the place and in increasing numbers. COTI sounds like to me anyways that COTI is looking to have one or more of their own agents deployed with the purpose of promoting the COTI privacy stack to other agents, which is a really clever out-of-the-box move. So we will have an OpenClaw agent, we will have a Claude agent, we will have all these different AIs, and we will have an agent for each of them, and this agent will be inserting itself into these networks, these agent networks, and promoting garbage circuits basically. So yeah, quite clever, I thought, and I'm very curious to see how that's going to work out. Because agents, the funny thing with agents is that they are not they're not tribal. Yeah, if it's better and it's cheaper, they'll go with it. So it'll be a good test. If it ever comes off, it'll be a good test of how good garbage circuits actually is. Last but not least, the first iteration of the COTI Vibe Coding Challenge was a good success. Lots of excellent projects, lots of people building. Next iteration is coming shortly and will basically serve to reinforce the fact that COTI is the best and actually the only the only place to be if you're looking to build dApps with privacy-preserving features. Yeah, there's no one else offering the kind of builder's environment that we are offering. So all in all, plenty of things to look forward to, and all of them exciting as far as I'm concerned. The COTI vision is taking shape right in front of us, and you all should be very excited about this. I am. End of. So that was the update for the week.
Right on, man. Thank you very much for that. That was awesome. Now, just I get to hear it the first time with you reading it live to us. So that's really cool. So, can you just your impression of what Shahaf said about being able to appeal to other agents, to be able to like advertise to other agents? What is your theory there? You think that they're going to have agents kind of like gathering the agents? Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because I don't know what to think right now, honestly.
No, but the first thing that popped in, literally the very first thing that popped into my mind was that social OpenClaw thing. So that social network where one agent turned into I don't know, 50,000 agents over a week. And they all started communicating with each other. They had their own religion and their own language. So obviously they were communicating with each other, and they were actually, strangely enough, looking for ways to preserve the privacy of what they were doing. Yeah. So now you're going to have agent networks. So let's say, for instance, different exchanges might have agent networks that communicate with each other on doing trades and doing various different things. And so these agents will basically establish some sort of network in between themselves. And then, what I imagine is that this COTI agent inserts itself into these networks and say, puts up its stall and says, here is what I'm selling.
Yeah.
Are you guys interested? Much like we do it in the real world, but as I said, totally untribal, no emotions involved. If it's good enough, it'll be used. If it's not good enough, it won't be.
I like Shahaf's confidence in one of the points that he said is like if the agents are going somewhere else to something that's inferior, we need to figure out why, because it's like he almost hinted as there's something sinister going on there, like it shouldn't be. So they want to figure out, like, if we don't become the go-to place, why? What is blocking that? And they seem really focused on that. I thought that was interesting.
No, and I think his point is that agents are not tribal. Yeah, agents will do what you ask them to do, and they will keep iterating until they are supremely efficient in doing that task.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like they're not only marketing to us, but now they're looking at this like, okay, we need to market to the ether, right? Like we need to appeal to agents directly, and how do we do that? It's it's pretty fantastic stuff, right?
It is, and on paper it sounds like an awfully simple thing. I'm sure it's not. But basically, you have an agent that enters an existing agent network, puts up its stall. Like you put up a lemonade stall in your neighborhood on the weekend, except this one puts up a privacy-preserving technology stall. And it'd be very interesting to see what happens, because as Shahaf quite correctly assumed, the agent should go for what's cheapest and best.
Cheapest, fastest, most options, right? Multi-party.
And so if it doesn't go for garbage circuits, there's two reasons, or can be two reasons. Either we're not the cheapest and the fastest, or the agents have been specifically programmed to do something different. They may not have been programmed to not use garbage circuits, but could have been programmed to use an inferior technology. So I agree with him. It's quite interesting. My take on these agent networks is that the agents are actually not being given a whole lot of information to start with. They're being given tasks, and then it's up to them to figure out how to do these tasks. That's how I'm seeing it. But I'm not your prime resource on the subject. I can just tell you what I'm seeing from my timeline.
There's like a fifth dimension of marketing here that I haven't quite wrapped my brain around yet. But it's like that's one of the biggest things that I got out of the COTI Connect was that when he was talking about that and talking about how to appeal, not to us, like, because crypto marketing is difficult, and I think a lot of crypto token holders have this weird opinion of what marketing is, and I think they often misunderstand what's illegal and what you can't do, right? And so there's this whole other side of this now. It's like, now we need to appeal to these robots. It's crazy, man. I love it.
Yeah, and cool. And when you think of it, in an ideal world, this would actually be 100 times easier for COTI to do and be successful in. if we really are as good as we say we are, then we should be super, super, super successful and have tons of traffic on the network in no time after these things are deployed. Yeah, because standard crypto marketing, as you just alluded to, yeah, everyone's got a story. Yeah, and everyone's faster, everyone's better. But
Yeah.
also everyone is not on mainnet. Everyone has 0 use cases. Everyone is still miles behind. But it is a difficult place to market, especially if you are a relatively small chain or small project. It's very, very hard to punch through and actually get that attention that your marketing deserves. It's really hard. Yeah, and that's the advantage with the agents. They ain't gonna give two hoots about any of that. Yeah, their job is to do what the task that they've been given. They need to perform that task in the most efficient manner possible. Yeah, so there'll be no tribalism, there'll be no favoritism, there'll be no, yeah, it's better, but I don't like this Shahaf guy, and there's not going to be any of that. There shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we all know the most prolific marketers in the space are the Twitter users with 100 followers that have all the answers, right?
Yeah.
We've known that for a long time.
We've known that for a long time, and it's either them or it's the KOLs with massive bags that they receive free of charge, and they'll say and do anything to at least give the impression that they worked for that bag, so they can sell the local tops and leave everyone else to hold the bags. So no, this is, if this works the way it's intended to work, the way Shahaf envisions it, and I think I see it how he envisions it, then it should be a good thing for us. Yeah, because it basically means we don't have to on this particular part of the market, we don't have to worry too much about cutting through the noise. We just have to be as good as we say we are.
I mean, it's it's nice that we've had the foresight. It's nice to be a step ahead, but I'm looking forward to the day that it gets monetized. And so hopefully this, idea of appealing to agents rather than, users and tribes, so to speak, that maybe that will finally be it for us.
Yeah, and I've actually seen 1 or 2 posts in the last couple of days, just on X, where people talk about the cost of privacy or the cost of private transactions. I saw one today with the cost of private transactions on Solana. The costs are high. Yeah, and they're basically so what was it? If your transaction is for 100 USDT, you're paying anywhere between $2.50 to $5. So anywhere between 2.5% to 5% of the value that you're transacting, that's private transactions on Solana.
So it's percentage based, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never gonna fly.
No, it's never gonna fly. And some are charging I don't know, 10 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents per transaction. It's not gonna fly either.
Yeah. You I know you want to be careful and not say anything.
In fact, I just had one request here, so I'm quickly going to send you the link on that one with the transaction costs.
A request?
It was the boss asking.
It was the boss.
Telegram? Yeah, it was the boss asking.
The boss?
And I'll tell you.
Uh-oh.
So let us just, then you can bring it up.
Okay. Then I have a. Okay, it's gonna take me a minute to switch this over, sir.
Yeah, so actually what it is, I was a little bit high on my number, so it's between 0.5% to 4.5%. Still ridiculously high though.
Okay. All right. Here you go, sir. This is what you're looking for, right?
That's the one, yeah.
All right. Let's take a look. This is all Solana? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what the guy said. He'd basically been
Oh yeah, okay.
testing out transfers on Solana to see which one has the lowest fees. Yeah. And when you look at that, the first thing that comes to mind is that this is a lot higher. Yeah, this is a lot higher than anything we charge.
Yeah, well, we're at fractions of a cent here, eh? 0.000.
Right. Yeah. So there should be a lot more zeros in front of some of these if they want to be competitive on that front. So yeah, quite interesting. And yeah, these things will be increasingly they'll increasingly start to pop up as privacy starts to find its way onto the different networks. Yeah, and it will be a differentiator as we go forward. Yeah.
And I don't really know anything about Umbra, but I assume this is mostly just like token and balance abstraction, right?
I think token shielding. I think this is token shielding, nothing more than that.
Yeah, that's big bucks for that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wanted to pivot a little bit to the privacy portal. I know you've seen it, and I know you don't want to say too much that you're not supposed to, but Shahaf is really proud, I would say, of the design and everything. I would just like to hear your thoughts on that.
No, I mean, the design is so simple and straightforward, yeah, and it's not just a nice design; it's also a nice process because it's super quick.
It is,
yeah, and it costs you next to nothing. I just brought it up on my screen. We obviously can't share that, but COTI, Ether, Bitcoin, Tether, USDC, ADA, G-COTI. And probably going to be a few more added as we go. And it's very simple. You set it up through your MetaMask Snap. So for all those people who asked, what are we ever going to use the Snap for? Well, here's the thing you're going to use the Snap for, because that's the basic infrastructure that allows you to do these portal transactions. And you can literally just move your tokens from a public to a private state, or back from a private state to a public state. And you will have all those tokens in your wallet in both the private and the public state. And you can hide your balances. And, yeah, it's got all the bells and whistles. And Shah's really come up with a clever, very simple, very intuitive design. And it does exactly what it says on the can.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. And it sounds like it's really close. Like really close.
I mean, it should be, because we've tested it, so so I don't think it's far away. Obviously, it's one of these things. Whenever you have a crypto DeFi hack, it's more often than not related to a bridge. Yeah. So they are very obvious attack surfaces, and I wouldn't want the team to release anything that's not been tested and tried and tested again and audited to the umpteenth degree, because we don't need hacks. We need this to work.
Yeah. But I mean, it sounds like it might even be this week. Like, we're Monday, right? So I'm always kind of thrown off by us doing shows on Mondays, but maybe even this week.
Yeah, I don't think it's a million miles away. I think you could be right. Yeah, I think it's coming. quite soon.
Yeah. What else do you got for us, Soren?
Yeah, no, I mean the thing, I keep harping on about this EY partnership because I think it's important for people to understand how deep this actually goes. And no one is talking about the most obvious advantage of this EY partnership. Yeah, so they're one of the big four professional services companies in the world, which means they got hundreds of thousands of clients.
Yeah.
Which means they have got, in terms of clients who want to, once clarity is in place, once clarity gets out of the way, they are going to have thousands and thousands of clients who want to get into Web3, who have to get into Web3 because the banks are going to be all over this. So these clients are going to have to be all over this as well. So there's a massive, massive client pipeline there. And most of them are going to come to Ethereum. So then, you got the EY connection and you got the Ethereum, the Enterprise Ethereum Foundation, which also has a very strong EY fingerprint. And you got COTI you got COTI balls deep in a partnership with these guys. So I think the most obvious thing that people is missing is that they got a massive client pipeline, and some of that should fall our way, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting when I think it was Mark's question. I might be wrong. I think it was Mark's question where he asked, will we be able to vibe code on COTI Nightfall as easily? And then just, Amateo coming in and reminding me and us and everybody that, or not even reminding, but kind of just solidifying the fact that this ZK solution with COTI Nightfall is really mostly relegated to being for big enterprises, right? For like ready-made compliance. It's not so much for us to come and spin our apps on. That seems to be mostly they're kind of focusing that towards COTI V2 and garbled circuits, right? And this is to appeal to more the enterprise grade, or the banking sector, the more professional side of it, with some of the stuff that they already have baked in. And I thought that was interesting. Garbled circuits can do all of that, but this is like something, it's a tool that first of all was built by EY, which gives it like immediate recognition and trust. And everybody knows ZK, right? So they'll be able to be building with COTI on technology that other people are already kind of like testing the waters with. I don't know, man. It's just like every moment, every other show, the more I think about it, the more we talk about it, since COTI Connect and Amateo's talk and hearing Shahaf talk about it, it's funny. Like I'm a little stubborn too, right? I get it. And a lot of our community is, right? Because we've been through all these shifts, but I mean, this makes sense to me now. It's making more sense the more I hear about it. And it took a little while to come around, but like, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that this COTI Nightfall thing is pretty genius. And
it is. And to be honest, 99% of the people building on COTI, they don't need Nightfall. Yeah, unless they are amongst the 1% that are building something where they need to have, where there's an element of government compliance. Yeah. And I know that you know what I'm thinking of, and I'm not going to say it. Yeah.
I think you should say it. It's COTI Confidential.
I'm thinking about what you're building as well. I'm thinking about what Stefan is building. Okay. And I'm thinking about what you're building, because you might actually need some extent you might need a bit of compliance. Because what you're building has a pretty broad footprint, yeah. But for 99% of people, they can do everything smarter, cheaper, faster, lighter with garbled circuits than they can with Nightfall. And there's no need for them to worry about the compliance part, yeah. The way I see it, very simple. Nightfall opens the door. Garble Circuit seals the deal. Yeah,
It,
I see it
it's
as a
funny
combo.
it's funny you say that about my project, because it's like ever since COTI Nightfall came on the scene, it was like, well, I had to wrap my head around that, and then I knew we'd be busy, generating content and stuff. And I like to try and understand things at least a little bit, because our job here, like as we see it, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but like we're here to educate you beyond the first level of marketing, the first level of outreach, to kind of help you make your decision if you're still in, or you want to come in, or you want to get out, right? Like it's all about that, right? Whatever path you want to take, we're just trying to give you all the angles here. And so when COTI Nightfall came on, I was like, does this change anything for my project or not? And do I need to pivot? And I mean, like I'm working on stuff that it really doesn't matter, and I can wrap around all that stuff later. But now it's like I need to make kind of a decision on where I need to go, and that is kind of like I've stalled basically ever since that, because well, first of all, I'm excited about COTI Nightfall and getting back into streaming and doing that stuff, and then also trying to figure out what my next step is. So it's funny you said that today, and it's a good point.
No, because I mean, think about it like this: if what you're building is being used by people like me, and I'm not thinking Sorden as the ambassador, I'm thinking the real life Sorden with what I'm doing in real life. If it's being used by people like me, no, you don't need Nightfall that much. Yeah. But if it's being used by someone who is not a whole lot bigger, if someone with a slightly bigger footprint, I don't think it's going to take that much before you run into compliance questions as well. Yeah, and they might be less severe, more severe. I have no idea, but I think there's certainly a chance you could run into that. So for me, there's no reason for the people who are building dApps day in, day out on our network. There's no need for them to worry a whole lot about Nightfall, because in most cases not really that relevant for them. Yeah, Nightfall is all about compliance. That is the punchline with Nightfall. Yeah, it's basically it's the fastest route that we could take to be compliant. Yeah, the day will come when Garble Circuits is fully compliant and all that stuff. But being compliant is one of these things that sounds super easy, but it's not. Yeah, it takes years. It took years for EY to build Nightfall into a compliant technology. Yeah, and it will take Garble Circuits just as long, if not longer. We don't have the resources in COTI that EY has. We can't put 200 people on building this thing and making it a compliance machine. Yeah. We can't. So it's going to take us a lot longer than EY ever took to do it. So.
Yeah, we're definitely not afraid of Nightfall either. But I totally get your point. Yeah, it's man, very, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where the fees kind of come out with Nightfall post testnet, right? Where they're set, where they land, because that's going to be a whole different thing, right? So, most of our community feels that garbled circuits are too cheap. So what will COTI Nightfall look like, right? Or is that already set,
and the indications right? The indications are, Trace, it's going to be significantly more expensive.
I mean,
while still being a ton cheaper than anything else that's out there. That's why Matteo was so keen to see the price comparison from other networks. Yeah, because COTI are looking at where do we benchmark this? What's other people charging? So of course COTI are looking at that. Yeah. If you know that everyone else is charging $1 a transaction, why on earth would you sell a superior technology at $0.01? a transaction.
Yeah.
You can sell it at $0.50 a transaction. You're still miles ahead of your competition, and you're still leaving money on the table, but you're also generating some serious revenue for yourself compared to, you're 50x your revenue. Instead of charging 1 cent, you're charging 50 cents. Yeah. So of course, COTI, like any other business, they're going to try and benchmark this so that they're still the cheapest around, but not too cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we're talking hundreds of millions of transactions per day, of course this matters. Yeah, it'd be absolutely silly to assume that it didn't matter. Yeah, and it also, agentic transactions are probably going to remain quite cheap because there'll be so many of them, and it would simply not be, feasible if they're too expensive. Yeah, so that's another advantage we have on the agentic side. So no, of course, it matters. It matters, and they are going to get more expensive. And I think the word on the initial tokenomics announcement was that they were going to price transactions by the level of complexity that they involve.
Well, let's bring all the agents to Garbled Circuits. So agents, if you're listening, come to Garbled Circuits. No, but like leaving that there at the transaction price that it is at, I mean, they seem locked in on that, right? They want agents, they want agentic volume, they want the masses, and they're like standing firm with that. And that's why what you're saying about COTI Nightfall, being more expensive, and it just, that's where it feels like it's gonna sit. So it's starting to make more sense, maybe to some people. I hope makes more sense to me.
Definitely. I mean, it is, and I agree with people who are saying it's too cheap now. It definitely is too cheap. It's great for us community members. We can muck about with these things, and we can build stuff, and we can do things for no money at all. Yeah, so it's great. It's great from a community point of view, but at the end of the day, as this grows, it has to be a business as well. So yeah, in my humble opinion, I'm not the one running the business at all, of course, but in my humble opinion, we can definitely put up prices.
Yeah, I mean, it's too cheap until you got 10 billion agents, querying all sorts of things over COTI V2.
And keep in mind, the prices go up. The amount of tokens that are going to come into the burn pots. Yeah, it's going to increase.
Goes up, transaction fees go up, right?
Yeah, and the amount of tokens being burned on a regular basis goes up. Yeah, and the circulating amount goes down. So win-win-win.
We said 2 years ago, this is a very, very ambitious, we'll call it a roadmap. This is a very, very ambitious pivot, and time will tell if it was an absolute blunder or if it wasn't. And we're starting to see more pieces fall in place. I don't know, man. It's interesting to watch. People have trouble watching things grow slowly, right? Like, I get it. A lot of people came to crypto because everything happens so fast. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and to be honest, it is still happening very fast. Yeah, things are happening fast in crypto, in blockchain, in Web3. It's just the price doesn't move fast anymore because there's no liquidity in the market, and that's just the fact of it. Yeah, so the big players are sucking up most of the liquidity. You had Michael Saylor announced today he bought $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and 20 minutes later, my good pal Tom Lee announced that he'd bought I think it was $230 million worth of ETH.
It's funny. Sailor is Bitcoin, and the Tom Lee is the sailor of Ethereum, right? Like, is that how you see it? Because that's what it's looked like for the past 6+ months.
No, absolutely, but I think Tom Lee is holding the better end of that stick because he stakes his ETH and they'll earn, I don't know, a couple of $100 million a year just in staking revenues, and then they use that money to go out and buy up companies and basically become the Berkshire Hathaway of Web3. So I think he's got the long end of that stick. Yeah.
Well, it sure feels like Ethereum's price is lower than Bitcoin's, if you get how I mean that. You know what I mean? It seems like Bitcoin's really hanging in there. Like I don't know, man. I think like the price of Bitcoin's like super bullish, and Ethereum is like it feels like it's in the toilet, considering it's it's Earth's computation layer in many ways, right? Most secure, computation layer. You might not agree with that, but that's what it feels like it is, right? And they seem to be constantly contemporizing it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
It seems to me that ETH is far better value for money right now. Yeah, and it was interesting because I was actually, and now Eli is on the chat. Eli and I had a very short exchange earlier today. Sailor owning close to 1 million Bitcoin is going to become a problem.
Yeah, it's for sure.
Yeah, that is definitely a weak link in the Bitcoin system. Yeah, so you already have the Satoshi wallets holding more than 1 million. Soon, Sailor will also hold more than 1 million. Yeah, that's a lot of the supply tied up with 2 individuals. And ETH, if Tom Lee doesn't stop at 5%, ETH will have the same issue, by the way. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. He says he'll stop at 5%, and we're going to have to take his word for that for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is good value for money. I mean, ETH at 2,200 is definitely cheaper than Bitcoin at 75,000. Yeah, in my humble opinion, and I'm not an expert on this by any stretch, so you can all mock me if you like, but that's how I feel.
The Bitcoin maxis are coming for you now, bro. You're cooked.
Let them, yeah. And seeing as they're coming, seeing as people who want to mock me are coming, I want to just remind everyone of the prediction that I made in episode 1. Yeah, I trust you all. I trust you all taking note that we are edging closer and closer. And if you think you've seen all of that move yet, you have not seen anything yet. Yeah.
So you're leading me into my next question, and we don't do this too often, but like you got to do it sometimes. And so you're saying that Ethereum is a better price than Bitcoin right now, considering. So how do you feel about COTI's price right now? And where do you think we're going? Where do you think it should be? What do you think it's going to take? And what do you see? What do you see happening?
It's a difficult question. Yeah, it's a difficult question because the fact of the matter is, I mean, yeah, I just said ETH is better value for money than Bitcoin, and I of course I'll stand by that. Yeah, but how do you actually put a value on the ETH network? Yeah, and the same. It's the same thing you have to think about when. How do you put a value on the COTI network? Yeah, so our market cap right now is 35 million. Yeah. So if we get valued by what we should deliver over the next 2 years, our price should be significantly higher. Yeah, but so should the price of ETH. Yeah, so most companies are when you put a valuation on a company, it's not necessarily what they have delivered in the past. It's what you think its future earnings. Yeah. And if we value ETH or COTI or any other non-Bitcoin player on, if you value them on future earnings, quite a lot of them should be higher, would be my argument. Yeah, I can't put a number to what ETH should be. I can't put a number to what COTI should be. I don't. I don't have enough information and enough brain capacity to actually make that calculation. But there are smart people out there who do this for a living. Yeah. And when the time is right, COTI will, and ETH and any other non-Bitcoin player, when the time is right, they'll start moving towards that target. And plus, because it's crypto, so we always overshoot the target by a few 100%, both on the way up and on the way down. Yeah, so I do think we should be valued higher than what we are today, but I'm not necessarily in the camp that says we should. If we were valued at $1 billion tomorrow, that would be totally fine. I mean, it would be totally fine, but it would probably not reflect the valuation if you did it with a typical valuation model. Yeah, but as I say, this is crypto. Things can go in all sorts of weird directions. Yeah. We saw that with Rave, that went from $60 million market cap to I don't know, $3.5 billion in a week. So we know crazy things can happen, and let them happen to us as well. We won't mind. But yeah, definitely these things are undervalued right now. And they won't stay undervalued forever.
Yeah. Been streaming about 4 years, all things COTI. And the shows used to always start with a disclaimer. Nothing we ever do on COTI Confidential is financial advice. We are not acting as COTI ambassadors when we're on COTI Confidential. This is strictly our own initiative. We do not, we do not reflect the views and values of the team. This is our show. These are our opinions. So just because we haven't covered that for a really long time, I just want to remind people that's what COTI Confidential is all about. And it's funny if you would have told us we'd be here, I wouldn't have believed you. I remember a while ago. COTI at 10 cents, I would have wanted to mortgage my house. So it's interesting to be here at this price point right now. I don't know, man, this COTI Nightfall thing, people always want that immediate price increase or, that immediate volatility. I after being here so long, I don't believe that any of these immediate price volatility spikes are really good for the longevity of a project. Slow, steady accumulation, hype cycles, different story. But when you have, a listing pump or a narrative pump or a partnership pump, those aren't real, right? I mean, if you're looking for a chance to get out or quick trade, whatever. But I don't think the people who have been following along with me for the last 4 years and following COTI Confidential since the beginning, I don't think that's what we want, right? We don't want these short spikes. We want to see adoption, recognition for what's being built. And, when I look at COTI Nightfall, I look at them talking about appealing to agents, thinking back to, the things that Shahaf said about, agents not being, we'll call it tribal, because that's kind of been like the key word for the day. The building blocks seem to be here. They seem to be solving, these challenges especially with this EY integration. It's really, really kind of exciting. Again, I wish we were further along with it. I wish we weren't just looking at testnet on the horizon. But we are where we are.
I'm in complete agreement with you on this point, Tracer. But I would also caution you that you are going to get your hype pumps.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come. And I think Eli has already pointed it out. They're gonna come in advance of actual adoption. You are gonna get your hype pumps. People are gonna see what this project or that project or the other project. They're gonna see what they could be in the future, or they're gonna see that they're really low cap, easy to pump, or they're gonna see something somewhere that's gonna and things are gonna pump. Yeah. We are now starting to see a few of these pumps, but they're very few and far between. Maybe it's the beginning of something more. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. But I think you will see COTI pump as well, and it'll be in advance of anything that we actually achieve as a network. Thinking big things here. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen because that's the way it's always been. Yeah, when we had that pump, that crazy pump a few years back, it is already a few years back. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. There was absolutely no reason for it to be there. Yeah, it had no right to exist, and yet it happened. Yeah, so the same thing will happen again, and it'll happen for COTI as well. I just don't know when and to what extent.
The question is always, buy, sell, hold and wait, right? Hold or wait. And, what I will say is because we don't really tell anybody what to do. But it is time, if you've been kind of on the sidelines for a while or you sold, it is time to do your research again and look at, what's happening out there with privacy, what's happening with agents, and then look at how COTI is trying to wrap around those narratives and wrap around that narrative cycle, right? They are trying to get their tentacles into everything that's very pertinent in crypto right now. So it's time to take another look and, maybe rebalance. It's up to you guys, but we're going to try to give you every single shred of education we can at COTI Confidential. Find the best clips from out there. Find the best talks from Shahaf and Amateo, Joshua, etc., and bring them here and feature them so that you can make your decision. That's what COTI Confidential is all about. And as you can see in the top left corner, it's on the top left for me. I think it's the top left for you guys too. There is a QR code that brings you directly to the COTI Confidential Telegram chat, where sometimes it goes 24/7 in there. And, everything from bullishness to constructive criticism, we basically draw the line at, personal attacks. So there's been a lot of good things that have come out of that chat from, maybe conversations that didn't start too easily. So we'd love it if you joined us there. And we keep the conversation going in between shows. And
Absolutely.
It's always there. Yeah. And I mean, sometimes, honestly, like crypto's tough, right? So sometimes it's just nice to know that you're, in good company. So I suggest that if you haven't already joined, I don't love Telegram, but that's our place. So come hang out with us there in between shows.
Yeah, and just to echo what you said about people doing their research, definitely do your research, because what you'll find out is that COTI are doing all the right things in all the right places, and the only decision you're going to have to make is it going to matter? Yeah, you as a token buyer is going to have to decide, do I think this is going to matter enough that it's worth a punt? Yeah, we can tell you that they're doing all the right things in the right places, and that's what we're doing every week. That's our mission. Yeah, but like you said, Tracer, it's up to people individually to make their own decision on what that means for where they spend their money. There's 1,000 projects out there, so
yeah. So here's your homework as COTI Army, because like I kind of threw something into the chat actually a few days ago. We need to do better when we see good content being generated by either the official channels or the little guys on X or Telegram or wherever. If you see good, pertinent COTI socials, share it. Like it's too quiet out there. It doesn't matter how many followers the generator of that content has. Get out there, send it out. That's your homework for this week, is go find some good content and remind everybody who, maybe isn't part of the community anymore, maybe doesn't have a bag. But a lot of people, like Shahaf mentioned in COTI Connect, they still lurk. They're still around. It's time to get their attention and say, hey, maybe it's time you guys come back and DYOR, and just because when you're sour on something, you don't pay attention, right? Come back, take a look, see what's going on out there, and see how COTI is trying to fit that narrative. And that's all I have from me. Soren, your last words. We're at the hour.
Yeah, no, we're at the top of the hour. So thanks to everyone who joined us tonight. We'll be back probably next week again. So in the meantime, I'll leave Tracer to do the closing remarks. He can do them a lot better than me.
Join COTI Confidential Telegram chat. Share your content. Share your links. Make clips. Time to do your research, guys. If you haven't been following for a while, it's time to take a look. Especially with prices where it is. Figure it out. Decide which side of the team you want to be on. And we will see you in a week. Yeah, we got that stream. Actually, that stream is already scheduled. So we'll be here. Same time next week on Monday. This is Soren and I from coast to coast and around the world. It's time to DYOR. We'll see you next week.
Cold so slick, circus stay garble. Encrypted hustle, no chains, no marbles. Faster than the rest, cost stays humble. Breaking through the game, watch others crumb. Nobody do it like this. Circuits in the mist, faster, cheaper, sharper, crypto alchemist. Others stuck in the lane, we flipping the twist. Gobble circuits, baby, we the future, don't miss. Others move slow, we quantum and speed. Blocks